have the owner of the advisory firm Phoenix 5 and the author of this book called Stop Settling, Settle Smart. Let's welcome Dana Look-Arimoto. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Arimoto, Japanese,
Yeah,
right?
Japanese,
My
right?
husband, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Second and final. That's for another day.
See,
Second and final. We're not here to talk about that, so don't worry.
Americans, young Americans especially, I don't know, I just feel all my friends were like, I'm just burning out. And then you have all these vacation days,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't really have time to take them
Yeah, why
because
are we
when I'm
taking
on the
advantage?
beach, I'm still checking my phone.
You're competing and you're dynamic and you're agile, which is great, but you're also burning out at a really rapid rate. That rhymed.
Yeah, that's
We might turn that into
Yeah.
a GIF. So why aren't Americans taking advantage of their vacation days?
Well, we're workaholics and we're programmed and conditioned to do so much more all at one time. We think we can have it all as long as we do it all at one time.
yeah, because there's this, not so new thing, but more and more we see, unlimited vacation days. You can take off whenever you want, but the result of that is people take fewer days because, no.
Isn't that crazy?
I feel that's not a good way to go.
I come from Silicon Valley, and that's where it originated with companies like Netflix and HubSpot, and take all the vacation you want, and you feel like you're this perky employer, and then everybody is literally getting sick and getting everybody else sick because they never leave.
Yeah, Julia's from that neck of the
Yeah,
woods
yeah.
anyway. So let's talk about work-life integration. What is that, and how do we promote that culture?
Yeah, so it's the opposite of balance. Balance equals burnout. So B for burnout. Integration is where you make conscious trade-offs and voluntary trade-offs. So you think about your career, your family, your friends, society, and vitality. And you can't not settle anywhere or
Vitality
you're gonna burn out.
from Latin vitas, life, right? We got to think about
Self-care,
life. Yeah.
health and wellness. Yes, Latin's always good.
Yeah. Well, so
See-
is that possible though? Is that this
I
thing
don't know
follows
if
me
that's
around. I mean, I can't
possible.
go very far, like, whoop, that is.
Yeah.
Like,
I email him 5 times a day. He always replies within 10
I'm sure I have a text right now.
Yeah.
Oh, actually 3, and a LinkedIn message.
So do you charge your phone ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your phone has limits?
Yeah, of course.
And do you as a human have limits? Okay, great.
I'm definitely hitting those, yeah.
Okay, so let's take a break. It's a performance enhancer, which is the opposite of what most people think.
Yeah. See, our producer saw a recent study by Forbes, and it says, a recent report by Forbes. It says millennials and Gen Z are much more concerned with burnout than their older counterparts. Why do you think we care about it more? And more importantly, are we taking any concrete steps to not be burned out?
Yeah, I mean, the millennials that I've worked with and that have worked on teams and companies I've run before I became a defector would literally challenge me and say things like, I'm not going to work those hours, or I'm not going to come to that event and do a 16-hour day. And they had other things they wanted to do at the same time.
Is that
Enjoy
okay?
life. It's great. It's great because, again, some of the best ideas and some of the best people I've worked with, the freelancers that support me now as a solopreneur, happen to be millennial.
Solopreneur.
Did I make that up?
Yeah.
I
Did
don't
you
know.
make
No.
Yeah,
Solopreneur is
solopreneur.
a thing. Yeah. We have entrepreneurs, solopreneur. They're all entrepreneurs. So let's talk about that. Entrepreneurs don't get paid time off. You don't get
Yeah.
paid time off right now. So what advice do you have for business owners like yourself, right? Do you unplug? Are you able to unplug? Because no one's paying you when you are
Yeah.
unplugged.
This is going to make everyone really jealous. I spent 30 days on Kauai this summer doing a workcation.
Workation. Wow, we're making up words as we go along, right?
Why not? I could run for office.
How did you spend that 30 days?
Yeah, so I did executive coaching, which is virtual. I did some more writing and blogging. My book had already come out, and I did a lot of downtime relaxing on the beach and swimming and being with my family. They came and went. I was the only one that stayed for 30 days, and it was glorious.
Wasn't it hard for you to divide it up?
Yes.
Because you were coaching people, you were still plugged on your computer.
Yes.
How do you just zone out while you're on the beach? Because I could never do that.
So I called it an experiment, a work-life integration experiment, because I've got to practice what I preach if I'm going to promote this new way of being and operating.
Don't say practice what you preach.
Practice
so
what
novel.
you preach.
I have young daughters that remind me all the time. that I'm not just allowed to preach. I have to actually do what I say.
So we started this conversation with relationships, right? You were saying you were on your second husband, right? Which many of us are, right? Like that happens, right? Do you feel like a lot of people burn through relationships because of this work-life balance? I think it's a relevant question.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the book, chapter 8, I talk about life as a business. That's how I ran my first marriage, and my ex-husband, would tell you this. Like, I was really trying to run things like I would run companies. It wasn't a good strategy.
What, you were trying to get into the black into your relationship? It's so interesting.
Good way of putting it.
Right.
Yeah, it beats the red.
Right. So how do we manage relationships? Because those have become complicated as well with social media. And also, a lot of times your partner has as demanding of a job as you do. So what if you have one person in the relationship who insists on work-life integration and the other one is a horrid
don't see
workaholic, like Julia?
I'm a recovering workaholic, so I'm with you. And, it's about compromise and trade-off. And it's about having conscious conversations and actually talking about what you want and what you don't. The holidays are coming up. People are stressed out, and we're doing all these obligatory family things. Maybe we don't want to spend the whole vacation time with family. That's okay.
That sounds like what a marriage counselor would say. Compromise.
I know, you're very zen-y. I feel like I'm
you
actually
are.
listening to your advice.
Good. It will help you in the long run.
So tell us about your book.
I made every mistake in the book, which is why I wrote a book. So it's inside out, tips, tricks, tools, traps to avoid things I've made mistakes on my entire life. And I want people to understand that you can choose to stop settling in certain aspects of your life and then choose to not settle in the other aspects.
So, Miss Look-Arimoto, tell us 3 takeaways from your
Yeah.
book. Yeah, we're going to give you a little extra time. So I might get in trouble later, but, we want to hear what you have to say.
See, you're choosing the trade-off right now.
Yeah.
You're settling smart, my friends. Trade-off number 1 is you do have the power to choose. You need to know what you want. I have a free quiz online that helps you figure out where you really want to spend time, not just for productivity, but for joy and value, however you define it. Number 2, when you make the choice to make the trade-off, you have to tell your partner, your loved one, but also your boss. Don't be afraid to tell your boss, here's what I want, here's what I don't. See if you can create a compromise. Most employers are pretty flexible. It's in our head that they won't let us ever take time off. That's not actually true. That's something we do to ourselves. Let's see. Third takeaway is you have to do this incrementally. People that say I'm going to make some radical change right now and do it all at one time are right back in that hamster wheel.
I gotta say, I think out of these 3, the hardest one to go ahead with is the first one, to figure out what you want. And I have a lot of friends, I'm sure you do too, they would just tell you very straightforward way, I just want to go home and sleep and drink.
I'm not going to get into drinking because it's
Right,
definitely beyond my pay grade, but yeah, sleep's good.
Like, that is a goal. Not everybody wants to, make $1 million and run something or have a quote-unquote successful career, because everybody defines success differently, and some people just want to be home and watch TV.
Exactly.
In your book, is that a valid goal?
It's completely valid. And also, we're doing these shoulds. I should make $1 million. Says who? What if that's not what you want?
I
if
need
I-
to make $1 million to keep on living.
Yeah, in your his apartment. Yes, if my friends just want to go home and sleep and I don't know, drink or whatever, drink milk or water, whatever, not booze. How do they communicate that with their boss?
Well, I mean, obviously you have to do some work. It's not like this all or nothing Texas Hold'em. All my poker chips are in on drinking. Like, that's not going to work. But again, it's
I know
about
people
compromise.
who would like
Yeah.
that.
Let's face it, if you're really good at what you do and you have results, most companies don't really care how it is you're working or when you're working. In some jobs, certainly not in all.
Okay, we'll
Well,
leave it there.
that
Thank
was
you.
a fun segment. Thank you so
Dana.
much.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
Having me.
Yeah.